Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Shalom. I'm David Mensa, Israeli government spokesman for the National Public Diplomacy Directorate here in the office of the Prime Minister. This Monday, the 23rd of December, day 444 of the October 7th war. This could be the last briefing before Christmas, so allow me to wish you a very Merry Christmas to your families and a Happy New Year and a very Happy Hanukkah as well. To you and your families. A very quick update from me and then to your questions. First, on the Houthis, following the missile fired at Israel in the wee small hours of Saturday morning, which hit a playground in Tel Aviv, the Prime Minister reiterated that in the same way as Israel has acted forcefully against Iran's terror proxies in its axis of evil, so too Israel will act forcefully and with determination, no matter how long it takes, against the Houthis. Israel is not alone in this stand against terror. The US and other countries see the Houthis as a threat to international maritime navigation, but also to the international order as well. Next, an operational update in Gaza. In the last 2 days, the IDF has conducted intelligence-based strikes on Hamas in Gaza. Yesterday evening, a Hamas terrorist who was operating in the humanitarian area in Khan Yunis was targeted. In Bet Lahia and Bet Hanun, troops eliminated terrorists and their infrastructure above and below ground. As always, prior to these strikes, many steps are taken to mitigate harm to civilians. We scan the areas, we use precise munitions, aerial surveillance, and on-the-ground intelligence as well. Again and again, Hamas terrorists systematically abuse civilian infrastructure and Gazans in violation of international law. The Hamas death cult wants to sacrifice Gazans on the altar of public opinion. The IDF targets this war against Hamas in defense of both Gazans and the citizens of Israel. And next, the latest figures from COGAT and their work getting aid into Gaza. In the last week alone, 1,025 humanitarian aid trucks carrying food, water, medical supplies and shelter were brought into Gaza. In the same period, 1,076 trucks were distributed within Gaza to warehouses and humanitarian shelters in coordination with aid organizations and the international community. All the aid underwent security inspection. Look, we won't stop despite Hamas trying to steal the aid, to orchestrate hunger. The IDF, through COGAT, gets the aid into Gaza for aid organizations and the international community. On Friday, 5,000 litres of fuel went in. 100 patients and their caregivers from the Kamal Adwan and Al-Auda hospitals were transferred to other active hospitals in Gaza by ambulances, together with the World Health Organization. So that's the end of our briefing here today. We'll now take your questions. Please put your questions in the chat, and we'll take each one of them one by one. Okay, first question I can see here is from Jody Cohen for Newsmax. On behalf of Israel, do you have any message for Newsmax viewers this Christmas and Hanukkah? Thank you very much for that question, Jody, for Newsmax. Well, actually, the Prime Minister will release a special Christmas message tonight, but allow me to say to our Christian and Jewish friends around the world, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah. When it comes to Christmas, it's supposed to be a time for goodwill to all men and peace on earth. As we come to the end of 2024, it's certainly a chance for us to look back. Yes, we have lost 818 of our precious sons and daughters, our soldiers, the finest amongst us, too many of our people killed by terrorism. But also, just look at what Israel has achieved, the collapse of Iran's proxies around the world, with thanks to the Biden administration for their support, but also the Trump administration pledging to take forward the Abraham Accords to new countries to spread peace, but also how resilient Israel has been. A year ago, Israel was on the back foot. We were attacked on October the 7th by barbarism. It was certainly an attack on Judeo-Christian values, values which I know viewers of Newsmax take very seriously. We were attacked on 7 fronts: from Hamas, from Syria, from Lebanon, from Yemen, from the Iraqi Shias, from Judea and Samaria, from Iran directly. In 12 months, all of these fronts have been pushed right back. Thank God, because of the strength and the belief and the dedication of our people, thanks to the prayers of people that watch Newsmax and people of goodwill around the world, Israel is poised to achieve the greatest victory in our history. Hamas taken apart, Hezbollah again taken apart, the Assad regime collapsed, and with the Houthis too focused, too blinded by their own jihadism to read the signs. So it has been an incredible 12 months for Israel. Thank God Israel has defied the critics and come out on top. Yes, at a heavy price, a heavy, heavy price, but with the prospect of a more peaceful future for all the people of the region. And finally, let me say to everyone watching, of course, we say this again, peace, shalom, is ultimately what we yearn for. So happy Christmas, happy Hanukkah, a peaceful new year from the State of Israel, and as we say here, of course, shalom. Next question I can see here is from Fred Ager, and it's about Iran's foreign ministry spokesman, Ismail Bakai, said in a news conference that Syria should not become a haven for terrorism, and that the people of Syria should decide on Syria's future without destructive foreign interference, and that Iran does not have direct contacts with the new ruling authority. What's Israel's response or comment to such a statement from Iran? Thank you very much for that question, Fred. I must say, when I read that statement from Iran's foreign ministry, I did check the date to see if it wasn't the 1st of April, because Iran saying that Syria should not become a haven for terrorism is taking the ridiculous to the extreme. Iran embedded itself inside Syria, and it caused Syria to become a failed state. Syria, of course, imprisoned its own people, with tens of thousands of people killed by the Assad regime, 500,000 people dead, caused by the Assad regime in their civil war. Iran is the creator of all of this hardship and, to be frank, evil, which has been inflicted on the Iranian people, on the Syrian people, but also on Israel's people. So we say to Iran, the regime in Iran, not the people of Iran, you've been pushed back. Israel has taken apart your air defenses. Israel has exposed your hatred towards our people. And ultimately, of course, we know very, very well that Iran, the regime in Iran, is the head of the octopus. We've destroyed major parts of Iran's air defense system and missile manufacturing capabilities. We've demolished a significant component of the Iranian nuclear program. They are exposed, but together with our allies, we will prevent this Iranian regime from obtaining a nuclear weapon. That's always been our top priority. Okay, next question from Joel Pollack at Breitbart News. Iran is in the midst of an electricity and fuel shortage. What are the implications for Israel's strategy on Iran? Would Prime Minister Netanyahu consider offering advice to ordinary Iranians on how to obtain energy the way he once did when Iran suffered a water shortage? Thank you for that question, Joel. In the last question, I made clear that Israel has a problem with the Iranian regime and not with the Iranian people. Just in the last 2 weeks or so, the Prime Minister released a message to the people of Iran, And he highlighted how much of their precious funds, the treasure of Iran, has been spent on terrorism to try and destroy this country, Israel, and how much of their precious resources has been diverted to try and destroy Israel, not for the betterment of the Iranian people. And also how much of the precious Iranian resources have been taken away from spending inside Iran, which means that their energy sector is in shatters, their health sector is in shatters, and they have tried simply to divert attention from their own failures as a regime, their own failures as a government, and try to divert attention with hatred towards my country. It has been tried by other Arab leaders in the past. It has always been shown to be a failure. The people of Iran know what the Iranian regime is up to. And the Prime Minister, in that message just a couple of weeks ago, made extremely clear that Israel, the people of Israel, are with the people of Iran as it stands up to this brutal, brutal regime. Okay, any other questions? Just scroll down. That was the last. Okay. Another question from Fred Ager. Lebanon's Prime Minister Najib Mikati said during his first visit to the southern front lines in Marajun, the most important is the enemy's withdrawal from all the lands it encroached on during its recent aggression. Then Lebanon's army can carry out its task in full. What is Israel's response to Lebanon Prime Minister accusing Israel of attacking Lebanon's state and violating its territorial integrity? Thank you for that question, Fred. Look, we currently have a ceasefire with Lebanon and Hezbollah. The length of this ceasefire depends on what happens in Lebanon. So my message from the Prime Minister's office is that we will adhere to the agreement, but we will also enforce it. We will respond forcefully, as the Prime Minister has said, to any violation. And the US understands this very, very well. We will maintain the full freedom of military action. So if Hezbollah does indeed violate the agreement and tries to rearm itself, we will attack. If it tries to rebuild the terrorist infrastructure near the border, we will attack. If it launches a rocket, if it digs a tunnel, if it brings in a truck carrying rockets, Israel will defend itself. We will respond forcefully to any violation. We are committed to this agreement. We are committed to this agreement to get our own people back into their homes in sovereign Israeli territory, but also to allow the Lebanese people to free themselves from Hezbollah that has turned Lebanon, together with Iran again, into a failed state. So our message is this ceasefire will continue for as long as it is adhered to. We say this very, very clearly, that quiet will be met by quiet and fire will be met by fire. Okay, I think that is the last question here today. Right, that's the last question. Okay, so there'll be there shouldn't be a briefing tomorrow or on Christmas Day, the 25th, and we'll take it from there as to when the next briefing will be. So thank you for joining us. In the meantime, you can contact us in the usual way. Please do stay safe. Happy Christmas, Happy New Year, and of course, a very happy Hanukkah to all our viewers. Thank you. Bye-bye.